Are there steps the state can take to bolster businesses in Delaware? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Local Edition. With me this hour is Delaware State Representative Tom Kovach. Thanks so much for being with us.
Pleasure to be here, Jill.
We're talking about a variety of different issues, but let's first start with the overall climate. What are businesses, regardless of size, experiencing in Delaware? Is Delaware faring better than the rest of the nation, or are all of the same issues still happening here at home?
Well, certainly we share common interest with our neighboring states, but we have to look at the burden that we as a state are placing on our small businesses. Last year, in tough economic times, the state and the General Assembly voted to increase gross receipts tax for our Delaware businesses. Now, the gross receipts tax, not everybody's familiar with that. That's a tax on businesses regardless of profits. It's just a tax on the amount of money or gross receipts you generate in the business. And that's very harmful for a business for a number of reasons, and the absolute wrong thing to do in tough economic times.
So what would you say then about this gross receipts tax? What needs to happen in order for businesses to be more competitive?
Well, that's right. It kind of hamstrings our Delaware businesses and their ability to compete with their out-of-state neighbors. We have basically increased the cost of doing business for our Delaware businesses and put them at a competitive disadvantage. I mean, we cross state lines for business all the times. And, you know, that is an unfair and quite frankly, harmful burden that we've placed on our Delaware small businesses. We can take steps right now. We sunsetted this provision. Some of us voted for a sunset. That's a 4-year limitation on this tax increase. We said no new tax increases this year? No. Every year that tax is in place, it's an increased tax burden.
And how long has it been in place if the sunset is at a 4-year marker?
Yeah, just June of last year. So that'll be 4 more years. That'll be to 2013. I mean, hopefully we're out of this economic downturn by then. But we're going to get out of this downturn a lot faster if we do things to help our small businesses out, our medium-sized, our Delaware businesses out, and give them more money to operate, more money to hire employees, and more money to make capital improvements.
And yet Delaware is known as a very business-friendly state in comparison to neighboring communities. So does this really hurt the businesses or maybe detract other businesses from coming here in light of the fact that some of the neighboring states are much more expensive? Well,
that's right. I mean, you make a good point. We try to be as responsive as possible in Delaware. We try to have that small state feel. We've just instituted a program speeding up the time for permit reviews from DNREC and DelDOT, things like that, turning around, making ourselves more responsive. But we've increased the cost of doing business. We can take steps as a state right now, even in light of tough economic times, to reduce the burden on our Delaware small businesses, and we've got to, because we'll encourage capital improvement, which will stimulate the economy. We'll encourage and incentivize the increase employment in our state, which is absolutely desperately needed.
So let's focus a little bit on the state's role in actually hiring and awarding contracts. What are some of the things that need to be done in order, as you think, in order to hire more Delaware businesses to work on state contracts, award them the contracts?
Well, absolutely. In addition to these ways to save Delaware businesses money by giving them credits for new employees, giving them credits for capital improvements on their gross receipts taxes, we can also make sure that our Delaware companies can bid on government contracts. We just had a toll booth, multi-million-dollar toll booth project down off of 95, administered as one giant project. You had to be able to bid on the whole project and perform all those duties, ranging from road work to construction to plumbing to piping to electric work, the whole gamut. We didn't have a Delaware company based on our size that could do all that. If we simply break down these contracts, you increase just incrementally the administrative expense, but you increase our Delaware businesses' ability to get these jobs, to hire Delaware workers and to put Delaware workers to work on Delaware government contracts.
Thanks so much. We've been talking with Delaware State Representative Tom Kovach. I'm Jill Horner for Comcast Local Edition.